My name is Rick Svetkov. My call sign is Comrade. I've been flying the F-104 for 20 years. Starfighters was formed in 1995 by myself, and we operated on the air show circuit for nearly 20 years. About 10 years ago, we were given the opportunity to come out to Kennedy Space Center and do some initial research and development flights. We officially received a permanent tenant Space Act agreement in 2009. The most unique things that Starfighters can do, and one of the reasons we were brought to the Kennedy Space Center, was to engage in research and development for high-altitude, high-speed missions. One of the latest projects that we're involved with right now is the development of air-launched rockets, which will put nanosats in orbit. The F-104, as you can see, is a very fast, short-winged, high rate of climb, high-altitude aircraft. It has a top speed in excess of Mach 2.2 and has service ceiling well in excess of 65,000 feet, with a zoom climb ceiling in excess of 100,000 feet. I chose the F-104 primarily because it was, at the time, still an active duty aircraft with NATO over in Europe, which meant there would be a lot of additional parts and pieces that I could get for the aircraft for operation. It had been discontinued in service in the United States, but as long as it was being operated in Europe, I knew that there would be equipment to help me keep them maintained. That, along with the fact that it performed with the top military fighters as far as performance, made it a great airshow airplane, and obviously a very good research and development platform for NASA. Further, NASA had actually used the F-104s from the mid-60s until the mid-1990s. So it had a definite relationship with NASA and the future relative to commercial space. One of the most important reasons, again, I kind of touched on it a little bit, was the fact that the aircraft has such a high rate of climb, high capability in speed and altitude. There's research to be done with regards to zero gravity maneuvers at very high altitudes, as well as high altitude platform simulation and naturally high speed integration, which allows us to be able to put rockets up with the nanosats into low Earth orbit. Very unique aircraft with the actual performance capability. Basically, a 104 pilot needs to have flown other high-performance jets in the past. It's an extremely high-performance jet, very high approach speed jet, and a pilot with a background in high-performance jet fighters can usually adapt to the F-104 reasonably quickly. The biggest thing with the aircraft, obviously, is the fact that because it's a very short-winged fighter, you have to watch your speeds, you have to watch your maneuvers with the aircraft so you don't get yourself in trouble. The biggest areas probably be in the hydraulic regime. It has two hydraulic systems, and they are maintained at a very high rate. The engines have been extremely dependable and capable for us. Overall, again, the biggest thing is a continuous maintenance program on the aircraft, the same as you would on any high-performance jet fighter. I met Rick Garcia about 20 years ago when we got our first F-104 in, and we asked Rick if he could help us out with integration of VHF avionics with our current UHF avionics, which were already in the aircraft. And he graciously helped us and became one of our corporate sponsors that we've been working with for the last 20 years. We've always been able to go to Rick when we had questions about avionics and various items within the operation of the aircraft. want to give a special thank you to Rick Garcia at Gulf Coast Avionics, as well as Airmo Magazine.